Natasha.
I'm AJ.
And we're from the Two Idiots travel blog. And we have Alyssa here asking us some questions today.
Let's talk about fighting.
Yeah.
Do you guys fight?
Pretty much all the time. I think 90% of the time I'm probably fighting with AJ. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. Everyone who's watching this is my friend is like ding ding ding.
That's life with Natasha.
That's right.
So you two obviously love each other. Anybody can see that, but you fight all the time. How does that work?
We fight each other all the time because we love each other. Because you don't really resolve things with strangers and you don't want to fight with them. You don't care. You fight with loved ones because you want to resolve it and get on the same page.
The other thing, like, I've come to realize is fighting can be a good thing. And then you don't end up like being passive aggressive.
Because I think that's the worst thing in a relationship, being passive aggressive. And especially if you don't know what the other person is thinking. And it's like, what did I do? Like, there should be no mystery in a relationship. Relationship is about communication. Even if you are fighting, the fighting is at least communication.
Yeah.
So, with that out of the way, how do you handle fighting and traveling for 9 months at a time together?
So the good thing is, once we had started traveling for that long, we had been married for a long time, so we had learned how to fight with each other. Because it's not the problem of fighting, it's the problem of how you fight, and how you fight in a respectful way that turns out to be productive.
Yeah, but to be fair, like I would say the first couple of months of our trip
were
super hard.
Yeah.
Being with each other for that long, some of our fights like were pretty intense, and
so annoying.
The one positive about traveling that long for 9 months is like Natasha can't go anywhere. So Natasha has a tendency when we fight, like she's like, I want to leave.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, she just want to leave and like drive away or something.
I really like to drive away. I think I've watched too many movies where the woman is angry or the person who is angry in a movie. Everyone knows this. It's like, I am leaving. I am angry.
But when you're on a cruise ship,
Yes.
like what is she gonna do, right? Like there's nowhere to go.
And that is so frustrating.
She has to like stay and resolve the issue.
You're sometimes in the same room, in the same bed.
Yeah. And so I think that was a positive. Like when you travel, we fought a lot and we got better about how to fight and we got better about how to resolve things. And I would say towards the end, like our fights were not only just more productive, like we resolved them faster and we understood each other better.
And they didn't become big fights.
Yeah, they started small and they just stayed like and they got resolved quickly.
I think that overall in our relationship that is happening too.
Yeah, but I think traveling helped a ton
because you couldn't
traveling forced you to figure it out.
Yeah, I couldn't call up some friend and be like, he's just being an idiot today.
Yeah, you just had to.
That's right, Aaron.
You had to resolve it.
I had to resolve it. None of my girlfriends were awake at that time, different time zones. So, but some of them were really like tough and really, really frustrating. A lot of tears, a lot of screaming. So, on my part, mostly.
So you talked a little bit just now about you learned how to fight.
Yes.
Tell me what that means a little bit.
I have a tendency to say really extremely, it's a family tendency, to say extremely mean things when we fight, and kind of like what you would not say to anybody, like below the belt, because I'm just so angry and I want to hurt the other person. It's true. I used to do that a lot. And I learned that words stay even if the fight is over. It was not his reaction to it, it was my feeling that I had said that. So I learned to just kind of like, understand that I'm angry at him at the moment, but I don't want to hurt him.
It's different for every couple, right? But for Natasha, like when we fight, it feels like she thinks I don't love her anymore.
Yes, I do.
And like what she needs when we fight is reassurance that I love her.
Yes.
When she's trying to like leave, like to stop her and tell her that look, you're not going anywhere.
Because I'm testing it.
Yeah, you're gonna do it together. But just like knowing that and learning that, like I got better at
understanding
quickly, like telling her, oh, I'm not going anywhere, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna stay together.
Yeah.
Or I love you, regardless of the fight.
Yeah.
And I think those things, even nowadays, like it helps resolve it so much faster.
Yeah.
While you're traveling, there's this tendency to say, we can't talk about this right now, we can't fight right now because other people are around or other people might hear. It sounds like you guys don't subscribe to that and you let it out.
Yep.
Why do you do that?
Because it doesn't really matter. It's not about them anyways. And I think that there is a lot of shame associated with fighting. Like, the other people are not, like, even if they are listening to your fight, who cares? I want to resolve my issue with my husband regardless of 100 people watching me. And I've had fights with him in front of his parents, which his parents are like, oh my god, what's going on? I just really don't care. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not into pretending to be somebody just because other people are watching me.
I think it's interesting. This is one that's interesting, but I think I care a little bit more about like fighting in public versus not fighting in public and resolving things. But yeah, I think I've got a better understanding. Like she's gonna say what she feels, and if I tell her like don't do this now, like it makes it worse.
And I don't understand what is the point. When people do that, I'm still trying to understand what it is that people are trying to prevent. Do they don't want to fight in front of other people because there's an image that, oh, we are so loving of each other, and if we're fighting in front of other people, people think we're not a good couple, or like we're not as stable as we seem, or they're on the rocks, or is it because you think it'll make other people uncomfortable? I don't know which one it is.
I think it's the first, right? So my take is people want to project an image that you are a perfect couple or you are, and I think we both, and this, by the way, this is harder for you to figure out, is like love is not perfect.
Yeah.
And love is, love is not even unconditional in a way. I think the only person I ever felt unconditional love about is our son. And so I think we just learned, like, you know what, like a relationship is not perfect and that's okay.
Yeah, and I don't want
fighting is a sign of the imperfection in the relationship, and we have an imperfectly perfect relationship.
Yeah, and
that's okay.
Yeah, a life is not an Instagram feed. So.
Ooh, say it again for the people in the back.
Life is not an Instagram feed.
I get that like ostrich on a pillow or something.
Life is not an Instagram feed.
That should be like one of our key quotes.
Yes, because it's just we're not perfect. We're gonna fight, and I'm gonna be annoyed, and I'm gonna be annoyed in front of 100 other people, and I really don't care because I'm angry, and everyone needs to know.
So how do you handle fighting with your child around? How do you deal with that?
So I think he's the only person I care about when we're fighting. And I think he's one of the reasons that our fights have started to de-escalate really fast. So most of the time, I think my screaming makes Arav laugh. I just think he's so immune to it. It sounds bad, but I think in general I'm just screaming at everyone all the time. That's maybe just who I am. He thinks it's hilarious. There are videos of me like yelling at AJ, and Arav is just laughing and laughing. But I think as he's gotten older, he's a little bit aware of it. So if he starts to get agitated, I'm still fighting. I'm just not fighting in a loud voice.
Speaking of your earlier question, he's probably the only person like we really care about, making sure like he feels okay. When we're fighting, like what annoys me is the fact that like when I get angry, or if I like raise my voice, he gets really upset. Like, and he laughs at Natasha getting angry.
He's immune.
Which is like pisses me off. It's like I can't even raise my voice because I can't like really like.
He gets upset. He'll start crying if
because I do it so rarely. Like he thinks there's something really wrong.
He's not used to it.
He's so used to. He's like, oh, mommy is screaming again.
But he's been awesome, like to learn to. Like, and I think when he grows older, like our hope is to tell him that fighting is okay.
Yeah. Yes, like, it helps resolve things. But you have to learn to fight in a respectful way that we said before.
Like we are known subscribe to a don't fight.
Last question. Tips for other couples as they're traveling if they need to fight or if they find themselves in a situation where they're fighting.
I think like get to know why or what the person is feeling during the fight, not while you're fighting. Like, by the way, when you are fighting with each other, not, like unless there is something that can de-escalate it, like a child or something, that is not a time to learn anything. It's a fight, and unless you are over it, like, you have like lessons learned. You have to have lessons learned from every fight that you had. That was really bad. Why was it bad? How you felt. So I think it's good to do a synopsis of it after the fight, and that's what's going to help you learn how to fight better next time. So that is my in general advice, or that's what not advice, but that's what's worked for us.
I mean, I'll probably say number one, it's okay to fight. Don't worry about fighting. To Natasha's point, like. Don't worry as much about other people. Like the key in fighting to me is resolving the actual issue.
Mm-hmm. So, if you can pinpoint the issue.
Yeah, and if you can figure it, but to try and get to a point where you both feel good about the actual issue and
you both pinpoint the same issue.
Fine, but like try and resolve the issue.
Two different perspectives sometimes. Yeah. Like, that's the issue. No, that was not the issue. That was the issue.
When we fight, we mostly resolve our issues. And if you can resolve the issues, the fight was worth it. And if you can't resolve the issues, then you probably need to maybe fight a little bit more or have more conversations to actually like figure out what the issue is. But I would just say don't get to a place where you don't resolve the issue and then it just ends up in a passive aggressive
and it comes up again.
And it comes up again in other ways. And that can just like really hurt relationships in the long run.
Yeah, especially when you're traveling. the reason for that is because there's so much going on, and you guys, there's so much pressure on traveling and vacation. Like, you're supposed to be happy on your vacation. So if you fight, it feels like the vacation is, off the rails. That's an unrealistic expectation, okay? The best thing to do is, if you are fighting on vacation, just to fight it out, resolve it, and move on so you can enjoy your vacation.